Someone just saw the life they built fall apart right in front of them. There was no public argument, no dramatic outburst, and no messy social media fight. Instead, it happened quietly and with precision. One move changed everything. Somewhere right now, Clarissa Shields may be realizing that the attention she worked so hard to gain is no longer focused on her. The spotlight has shifted, and it may not come back anytime soon. Remy Ma didn't simply take attention away. She made sure the focus moved completely. First, the situation looks simple. Clarissa was at the center of a major moment in her career. She had a big fight, strong media coverage, and the kind of promotion that usually keeps an athlete in the headlines for weeks. At the same time, many people assumed Remy Ma was no longer a major force, someone from an earlier era whose time had passed. That story quickly fell apart. While cameras and interviews were centered on Clarissa, Remy Ma was working quietly behind the scenes. Instead of reacting publicly or competing for attention directly, she prepared something much bigger. She didn't interrupt the moment. She replaced it. According to people in the media world, the timing of her move was extremely deliberate. Remy launched her media platform, known as the Remy Network, at the exact time when Clarissa's publicity campaign was at its peak. Not before the excitement started and not after it faded, but right when Clarissa was expected to dominate the news cycle. Within hours, major entertainment outlets began analyzing the timeline. Online users compared press appearances, interviews, social media promotions, and brand partnerships with the announcement of Remy's project. The overlap was hard to ignore. Internet researchers created side-by-side breakdowns showing how closely the schedules matched. Many people began calling the strategy intentional rather than coincidental. Social media discussions described it as calculated timing rather than luck. There were also rumors about the content of the new network. Some insiders claimed the show would include a segment focused on industry stories, hidden conflicts, and personal histories. Although nothing has been officially confirmed, the lack of response from certain teams only increased public curiosity. However, people following the situation say this moment didn't come out of nowhere. According to fans and online observers, small similarities between the two public figures had been noticed for a long time. Some pointed out similar fashion choices, jewelry styles, hairstyles, and even interview tones. Supporters from both sides shared screenshots and comparisons over several months. What stood out to many observers was Remy Ma's silence during this period. She did not respond publicly or address the comparisons. Instead of reacting emotionally, she appeared to focus on building her own platform. Those familiar with her career say this approach fits her pattern. She has dealt with major challenges in the past and is known for moving carefully rather than acting impulsively. Online communities even began analyzing speech patterns from interviews, comparing tone, rhythm, and delivery style. While these discussions spread widely, they remain unofficial internet analysis rather than verified evidence. Similar comparisons appeared around clothing choices, accessories, and public poses. Some viral posts listed multiple examples over time, which fueled more debate. There were also claims that the similarities extended to how personal relationships were presented publicly. Observers suggested that certain themes, such as loyalty, partnership image, and power couple branding, appeared similar. For some fans, this went beyond influence and started to feel like imitation. At the same time, another layer of the story began circulating. Reports from industry circles suggested that Remy Ma's upcoming network may have faced obstacles even before its launch. According to these claims, there were negative rumors directed at potential investors and advertisers. The goal, some said, was to create doubt about the project's stability and limit its support. If those reports are true, the launch of the network represents more than just a new show. It would mark the moment when the project survived early pressure and finally reached the public. Some sources even claim that documentation exists showing attempts to interfere with the platform, although nothing official has been released. Putting aside the rumors, strategies, and online theories, the situation also highlights something more personal. Imagine building your identity over years, your style, your voice, your image, your relationships, and then seeing similar elements reflected through someone else in the public eye. Over time, the differences become less clear to the audience. People begin to compare, question, and sometimes confuse the original with the version they see more often. That experience could feel frustrating and unsettling. It raises questions about ownership, originality, and how much of a personal brand can truly be protected. In industries where attention moves quickly, silence from the public or media can make the situation feel even more difficult. When people feel their identity or work is being copied and no one speaks up, waiting for fairness may not seem like an option. Instead of asking for recognition, they create something stronger, something that shifts the conversation entirely. In the end, this story is not only about rivalry or media strategy. It reflects how power, timing, perception, and control over one's image can shape careers. Whether the rumors and theories are fully accurate or not, one thing is clear. In the world of fame and public attention, the strongest move isn't always the loudest one. Sometimes the biggest impact comes from quiet preparation followed by one perfectly timed step. Many people believe that what Remy Ma did was not about being petty or chasing attention. According to supporters, her actions came from a deeper place. For years, Black women in entertainment have seen their creativity, style, and ideas copied and sold without recognition. In that context, her move looked less like revenge and more like protection. The message behind it seemed clear. Her voice, her image, and her personal life were not things she was willing to let anyone else claim. And if the industry could not protect what she built, she would create her own space where she had full control. This story also cannot be told without mentioning Papoose. For more than 10 years, Remy Ma and Papoose have been one of the most talked about couples in hip-hop. Their relationship has been studied, praised, and sometimes questioned by the public. To many fans, they represent something rare in the entertainment world: loyalty and stability in a space where relationships often fall apart. Because of that, their bond became more than a private connection. It became part of their public identity. Reports from people close to the situation suggest that attempts to copy that image went beyond surface details. If true, that is when the situation became personal. Those who know Remy say the emotional impact was real, even if it did not show in interviews or photos. Through everything, Papoose has reportedly remained a steady source of support. Still, even strong support systems carry pressure, especially when someone you love feels their identity is being challenged. Behind the scenes, people in her circle are said to have taken the issue seriously. Instead of reacting publicly or getting pulled into online arguments, the decision was to take control of the narrative. The focus was not on defending every claim but on building something powerful enough to shift the conversation entirely. While the industry moved slowly, the internet reacted quickly. Online communities began collecting comparisons and timelines. TikTok pages, long Twitter threads, and dedicated Instagram accounts appeared, all sharing side-by-side examples of what they believed were similarities. Some posts received millions of views. A few creators even tried to map patterns over time, suggesting that certain moves seemed to follow earlier ones. At the same time, Clarissa Shields' online presence remained quiet about the situation. There were no public statements addressing the network launch or the growing discussion. That silence led to many different theories. Some people believed her team was handling things privately. Others thought legal advice might be involved. And, as always on the internet, some speculation went much further than confirmed facts. Beyond the drama and online debates, there is also a major business story unfolding. The Remy Network is not being presented as a small personal project. According to sources, it includes multiple types of content, confirmed guest appearances, wide distribution, and advertising deals that were secured before launch. If accurate, that means the platform was planned as a long-term media operation, rather than a short-term publicity move. Industry analysts say celebrity-owned media platforms are becoming more important because they give artists direct control over their stories. In Remy's case, she also brings years of experience, industry connections, and personal knowledge that traditional outlets may not have access to. With her own platform, she decides what gets discussed and how it is presented. Looking at the bigger picture, this situation highlights something larger than a personal conflict. It reflects a growing conversation about identity, originality, and accountability in the digital age. Today, every public appearance, outfit, interview, and post is recorded and stored. Nothing really disappears. That means patterns, similarities, and changes can be tracked over time by anyone willing to look closely. In the past, public figures could study others quietly and incorporate influences without much attention. Now audiences notice everything. When someone builds a brand based on authenticity, the expectation from fans is that what they see is real. If people begin to believe something is copied rather than original, the reaction can be strong and long-lasting. There is also a lesson in the way Remy Ma chose to respond. Instead of waiting for the industry to step in, she built her own platform. Many creators see this as a reminder that ownership matters. Relying on traditional systems for protection is not always enough. Creating your own space can be the strongest response. As things stand, the Remy network is moving forward, and the premiere date is set. According to production sources, upcoming content will include detailed discussions and documented information connected to past events. Because of that, many people in the entertainment world are watching closely. Once something is released publicly, it cannot be taken back. This leads Right now, all eyes are on what happens next. Because once the premiere airs, the direction of this story, and possibly someone's career, could change in a major way.